Was Hot Toys out of time when they made this figure and released it? Should they have gone back in time and maybe went back to the drawing board and made some changes? We're going to find out today. Hey everyone, this is Mr. Mom Collectibles, and today I have the Hot Toys Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Now, I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. As I always say, it's one of my 4 pillar stones of my childhood growing up. I can't express how much this movie means to me in the trilogy, so I'm super excited to get this in my collection. I already have Marty, so I was waiting on this companion piece, and this figure does come with its share of controversy when the official photos were launched, when this thing was ready to be released, between the head sculpt and some of the accessories. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing out, look at everything it comes with, and we'll go over it step by step and put everything together. Now, when I got this figure today, I just quickly opened it up out of the box to make sure everything was good, but I have not in-depth looked at anything yet, so this will be my first time, so I wanted to film it on review and give you my honest first impressions of the figure. So we'll take this thing out and take a look at everything it comes with. Hey everyone, so I just opened up the figure. I'm going to do a little bit different of a presentation with this one, only because there are so many small accessories to go over. I'm actually going to keep some of them actually in the clamshell when I go over them, and you'll see why, just because they're so meticulous. I don't want to lose or break anything. Some of them I'm going to pull out so you guys can see up close the details, but like the tools and stuff I'm going to leave in the clamshell and then assemble the figure. So this is how the figure comes when you literally open up out of the box. As you can see, so many accessories. So the first thing we'll do is go over Doc's tool belt because it's the easiest to look at. And like I said, this is the tool belt, and you do have one of the plutonium chambers that comes here too. But this is the fake leather tool belt, and then you have all the assortment of tools that it comes with: tape, clips, wrenches, screws, everything like that. So nicely done. I'll take this off so you guys can take a look under the. There you go. As you can see, the work on this, oh, this feels so great. The details on this is just really outstanding. That's so awesome. All these little details are so great. This is really what you're paying for, is the Doc from part 1 when he had all the tool belt and everything like that. This is just fantastic. Try to zoom in so you guys can see the paint applications, flashlight, wrenches, tape, clips, paper clips. You guys see how small those are. File, the wrenches. Absolutely fantastic. This again, there's the belt that will loop through, plutonium chamber, the red insert that would go into the car, so we'll put that together as you can see. But all the paint applications on these are phenomenal. As I said, I didn't want to break it. I normally use like a clear tray, lay everything out, but I think this suffices perfectly that you guys can see everything that comes with it. So this is just the first tray. It's mostly everything on his actual belt. And then when you take the figure out, this is the other clamshell cover. There you go. And now this is the figure itself, and it has some of the accessories. Now, bear in note, I've had a couple people take note of this. This is the remote controller. It comes with this little foam insert. Please make sure that this doesn't break. I've already had some people say that this, by taking it out or moving around, this actually snapped the rod off. So just be very careful. But this is the remote control that he uses on the Delorean when he's showing it off for Marty, and they're doing their first test. And as you can see, the detail work on that is just phenomenal. None of these switches or anything like that are movable, so it's all stationary, but absolutely amazing. As you see the paint work on that and the stickers on the back, absolutely fantastic. You just got to be very, very cautious with this tip that it doesn't snap off. And then you have look like a calculator of some sort, a pouch that it will go into. Like I said, the detailing on this is really great. It looks like a pouch. I don't think this goes in there, or it might. I'll check the instructions. I have to say, this is probably one of the first figures I will admit that I will have to use the instructions on, just to make sure that everything is in its right place. This is one of 2 watches that he wears. There's one. And here's the other one. This one wraps like around his finger. The detailing is just fantastic. And then we have 2 stopwatches here. And one of them comes with Einstein as an accessory. So this stopwatch is what Doc wears that matches with Einstein when he compares the time. And then he comes with some hands. And this here, right here, is a little, this is all the paperwork and stuff. This is, that goes on his clipboard. And some of it goes in his pocket. So I'll open this up so you guys can see the detailing on this is just outstanding. So I'll try to zoom in so you guys can see. But this is information that's on his clipboard. Papers, all printed. You can actually read this if you wanted to. Material safety data sheets. Folder that it comes in. A map. Oops, sorry about that. Map. And little book. The detail on this is just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Now, he has a pocket protector here as well and a clipboard. But the main accessory that seemed to cause some controversy in the community, one of two things. We'll start with the accessory, is this guy, the Plutonium chest, which is famous for the, Back to the Future Part 1, because the Delorean runs on plutonium, and he does a demonstration of this. And as you can see, you open it up, these other units in here you cannot remove. So it comes with only one, which is perfectly fine. You don't need to have all these out and making a mess. But all these are fixed in the actual plutonium case. And there's one that comes with Doc that you could slide in here. Now, the big controversy with this is obviously the material in which it was made out of. And obviously on the Hot Toys, on the official page, it said that it was high quality cardboard, which caused, I would say, quite a stir, is a polite way of saying it. But seeing this in hand, once again, it's one of those things where you really got to see it in hand versus seeing on a website. Just because it says high quality cardboard really caused a lot of stir because people thought this should have been plastic. We'll never know the reasons why they chose cardboard over plastic. You can obviously say it's because of cost, production, etc. But at the end of the day, we don't know. We can only judge what we have to go on. And here, it's just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And in terms of the quality, I mean, it feels absolutely sturdy to me. I mean, you can feel that it's cardboard with some plastic. It's real foam inside. Obviously, you could see, you could push on it. It is cardboard because you could push on this and you could feel it. But it's not flimsy. Foam inside, foam in here to reinforce. So there is a mixture of some plastic. The corners, I believe, are. So it feels so sturdy. So feeling this in person, don't think I'm going to have an issue with this unit ever deteriorating. I am in the East Coast, so there's a lot of fluctuation between hot and cold. I know that's probably one of the biggest concerns people have, but in terms of the actual quality of this, it's completely, I don't see anything absolutely wrong with this. It was a $20 upcharge for the deluxe, so people feel because of that, they should have had plastic. Like I said, we'll never know the official reason why it was done, cut corners, whatever it may be, but seeing this in person, different perception of this. I wanted to reserve judgment, even in some streams that I was on. I try to reserve judgment of being, as less skeptical of this as possible, and just I wanted to wait till I got this in person to really see. And I have no issue with this. I will not be opening and closing it that often. It'll just be a piece next to Doc in the DeLorean, so I don't have any concerns about it. I'm trying to see, like in the corner here, you can kind of see the little hinge there, but I don't see this opening and closing that often. It's going to literally sit closed right like this, and it comes with some stickers to put on some various spots as well, but in the instructions I'll go over all this. But this is a sleeper piece for me. I don't think it's as much of a big deal as what people in the community made it out to be. I think the quality of it's perfectly fine. As I said, it is what it is, in the sense of, that's what we got. Would plastic have been better? Of course it would have, because it would have lasted longer. But for it being what it is, I mean, looking at it, you never would have thought that this was cardboard. So for me, I'm completely satisfied with it, just because I know the intent that I will have for it, that it will just basically sit on my shelf next to Doc. I won't be opening it and using it that much. So the actual wear and tear that we'll have from me will be next to minimal. So that's what I have. So, and then the hands, like I said, fantastic as always. Really great paint app there. So you have some pans as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to get Doc out himself, and we can actually go over the figure as he is in the clamshell before putting and dressing him up with all the accessories. So you'll take a look at him now, and we'll take a look at the head sculpt. So here's the figure as it comes out of the clamshell. It looks very big and puffy. But as I said, when you put the belt on him, it will kind of shrink him down a little bit, his waist. But the quality of the suit is fantastic. You just feel this, just feels like quality. There's multiple layers here. There's like a Hawaiian shirt, then there's a thermal, and then you actually have the actual suit with the sleeves rolled up. The articulation wise, the arms can go about to a 90 degree, as you see there. That's the stopping point of the arms. The feet itself, very nice detail in the shoes. You see there, nice articulation there as well. The biggest thing about this is going to be the head sculpt. I'll try to zoom in as much of it as possible. And there's the figure itself. And obviously the controversy that this has is that this is pretty much a Back to the Future Part 2 head sculpt that they used for Part 1. And you know, it's a pretty lazy effort from Hot Toys. This is an interesting figure because the IP isn't a Marvel. It's not it's not a Star Wars, where I don't think there's a lot of effort put into these one-off IPs, and that's what concerns me about these. Childhood. I'm a child of the '80s. Absolutely love this property and everything that comes with it, and it just really bothers me that Hot Toys really did milk this one in and really chose this IP, because it's hard, because there isn't a legitimate 1/6 Back to the Future set that you could really get on the market that's this high of quality. This is it. And I know a lot of people will say, speak with your wallets, tell them how you feel. Well, as much as I'm being a hypocrite, even during this video and on live streams, I spoke with my wallet. I bought the figure. So it's a real, it's kind of in a gray area, because there's definitely criticisms of the head sculpt. This figure, I think it was like almost 13, 14 months from announcement to release. And, the head sculpt was pretty much, they just popped it off one and put it on another. It creates a continuity error in the series because, in my opinion, Doc was much older. Christopher Lloyd wore heavy paint applications to look like he was in his early to mid 70s. And in Part 2, he actually goes to a rejuvenation clinic, and you actually see him pull off like a face mask, basically, and he's younger. And that's what this is kind of, if you look at the Back to the Future 2 figure, that's what this represents. So, it's a little disappointing that they took this figure and they didn't even have the courtesy to actually cover up the paint holes, the holes behind the ears where the glasses go from Part 2. So, I mean, if they would have done that, in my opinion, to save this sculpt, they should have filled in the holes behind the ears, and they should have done a better paint application. I don't doubt that this was a new paint app, but it's not done necessarily good in my opinion. Looking at the figure in hand, I'm trying to get it. You see some kind of like grayish blue highlights around the seam there, around the hairline. I mean, if I believe, Doc's hair was pretty well white, almost, milk white all the way through. So I think if they would have redone the hair and painted the hair more accurately, that would have helped it. And also the face. It's hard on camera. Right now, the camera's kind of blowing out the face to make it look much more softer. It definitely isn't that in person, so I will say a lot of the photos and things like that maybe don't do it justice. As I said, I'm looking at it through my camera, and I'm looking at it in person, and it is softer on camera, but they should have redone the paint better to at least age him, if that's what they were going to do. If they weren't going to create a whole brand new sculpt and use what they had, then they should try to have saved it with the paint application versus what they did here. So that's rather disappointing. And obviously, everyone has a wish list of what they wish it would have been. And for me, I wish that we would have had, a different expression, whether we keep this one and get another one. The only reason is because, yes, this does represent Doc, like a shocked, like failed experiment, or a surprise his experiment worked. But, a lot of the other expressions were more neutral. I would have preferred something neutral. I know in a lot of the promotional photos used for this figure, they showed him in every position possible with Marty, and the shocked expression doesn't work for every pose. I think a lot of people are going to pose this up in their cabinets or DTOFs or Maju space cases, kind of shocked with the remote, maybe like the Delorean just came back in time, so he has that shocked expression. I'm going to take a bunch of photos with it and try to make it work, but from a photographer standpoint, it definitely poses a challenge when trying to capture much more, different poses than just using a shocked expression. So I definitely have my disappointments with it, but as I said, there isn't a close contender at the moment that you could say, well, I'm not going to get the Hot Toys version. I'm going to get this one instead or that one instead. This is what we have. This is what it is. I did speak with my wallet. I bought the figure. but I am allowed to criticize the product I bought, only because it is my product and I do have concerns with it. But I do think once it's on the shelf with all the accessories, hopefully it saves it. I know a lot of people who have this in hand already. They said once you dress it up, it really does kind of bring the whole figure together, versus looking at it just focusing on the sculpt. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to follow the instructions, which I don't think I've ever done that before, and assemble everything on the character, and then I'll give you guys a final look over what he looks like fully assembled, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. Hey everybody, so I got the figure now here assembled, and I'm gonna kind of do some zoom arounds on it, because I do have some feedback that I can give on a couple things when putting these accessories together. So this is the figure as it stands right now with all of the accessories on him, and I even put Marty next to him with Einstein, as you can see. So the duo together look absolutely fantastic. So a couple things that I want to take note about is the instructions. Yes, it is imperative to follow the instructions just to know the placement of where all of the tools and everything go. But in terms of, some things gave me some troubles. Like, for example, right up here, the pocket protector, the clip, almost felt like they were fighting for space. As you can see, the pocket protector was kept popping out when I put the clip in. So I actually put those accessories in last when I was doing everything, only because, as I said, that little pocket right there really felt like they were fighting for space in terms of when I was trying to put one or the other in. So I actually end up leaving those off until the final assembly. And then another thing is also this little paper clip there, as you can see on the belt. I do wish that they had made like a leather belt that would hold up. The belt seems very fragile, like the John Wick belt, which kind of frayed on me just from moving it around. So be very delicate with the black belt that comes with the figure. That paper clip, I honestly can't tell whether it's supposed to go over both like the loop and the belt itself. As you can see, I only have it over the actual, like the excess, like the strap going through, only because the clip itself isn't bendable. It's plastic, so there's no give in it. So that's one thing to keep in mind about. The notepad here, great little accessory. I do feel like if opening up and using it too many times, the pages might start to kind of tear open, but a great accessory nonetheless. And then as I zoom over here, I'll move it around. The tool belt definitely has awesome tools, as you can see there. Just follow the instructions to see how everything goes. I mean, you can put anything the way that you want it. Some of the stuff will bounce around just from moving the figure, but the tool belt itself does look fantastic. The stopwatches as well, both watches there. Probably looking at it, I'm a little disappointed with the choice of hands, only because they're really, they're a little cumbersome when trying to actually have them holding the radio. So it took a little futzing to try to figure that out. But, you can make do, as I said, but it doesn't come with a whole, assortment of hands. There's the watch that's going down into this little pouch. And as you see the pouch there, I'll try to zoom in on it. That little pouch, it's like a little string that goes inside from the coil to the actual pouch itself. So just be delicate with that as well. And then Einstein here actually comes with the other alternate stopwatch. So I installed that. Believe it or not, I actually didn't, forgive me for being naive, I didn't know Einstein's head actually popped off like a regular Hot Toys figure. So you can pop the head off to install the stopwatch. The placement of the stopwatch did take me a little bit to get it centered, because you just don't want to throw it on it and then put it on because it'll drape too far low. So you got to kind of hold the stopwatch lanyard with one hand to get it positioned, and then pop the head on. That way you get proper placement. Otherwise, if you just throw it on, it's going to dangle around the peg inside, and the stopwatch is going to fall like way down between his legs. So you just want to be mindful of the placement. One thing I am critical about is the clipboard. Unfortunately, I wish they had made a clip mechanism to actually hold all this together. Unfortunately, it's all loose. Even in the instructions, they just basically have you just like lay the papers on and then put it in his hand. So I kind of wish there was an actual clip that these could have slid into, so this was all one piece, so you didn't lose any of those particulars. And then finally, the plutonium chamber, the case. As I said, there's one item, I'll just use this to point. This is the loose one that comes out, so you could pop this out, and then the red inside, just like that, you insert it, and then you put it inside the chamber. There is a sticker or few that you have to put on. The sticker right here, you have to put on the foam. I don't know how long that will last in terms of adhesion. And then there was these two clear clips. If I did them wrong, like I said, trying to follow the instructions. But basically, there was these two clips that came inside a little plastic bag with the stickers, and the instructions had you like bend them, and it was a mechanism to basically keep the chest open. So if you want to like leave it displayed like this, these clips are meant to keep the chest completely open so the lid doesn't fall. I will say I'm not going to be using that with mine because the lid had no problem staying open on its own. But I guess with it being cardboard, they want to make sure that, you know, if you want it left open, it's just an extra additive to keep it reinforced. So I guess that's what that's for, but I won't be using it with mine. I'll probably keep it closed. But as you can see, I'm just going to pan out and do a couple steady shots with the figures. As you can see, that's what he looks like with Marty, and it's undeniable. I mean, the duo together, they're meant to be a duo. You know, it's hard to have one without the other, but they look absolutely fantastic together. It's just, like I said, the shocked expression, Marty. I'll have these posed up more properly, do some photos with them, but as I said, the figure overall, you know, it's one of those, it's hard because I love the franchise, love the figure. Obviously, I own the figure. It just, you know, I think that they definitely cut some corners in terms of some areas. The plethora of accessories that it comes with, yeah, one could say makes up for it. But as I said, I feel like it was, you know, I don't want it to be a smoke and mirrors tactic where, you know, it's kind of like, look at this over here while we kind of give you a repurposed head sculpt. And I kind of feel like that's what Hot Toys did, where they would definitely made sure all the accessories were good. But hey, listen, the head sculpt, it's going to be what it is. So there's definitely some sacrifices. Laziness on Hot Toys' part, I definitely think so. They need to be called out for it. But as I said, it's the old additive where people say, speak with your wallets. And evidently I'm a hypocrite because I spoke with mine and I own the figure. So it just disappoints me, as I said, that they used this IP as one of those. I don't think you'd see this with an Iron Man figure. And if they did, like with the Mark 85, there was enough complaining. They redid the head sculpt because Iron Man's their, you know, that's their golden boy, so they're going to make sure that Iron Man is taken care of. So, I mean, some IPs might suffer. Unfortunately, it's Back to the Future that I think suffered on this one. But I think when you put them together as a combo, as they should be, like standing here, you can forgive, you know, some of the things. But as I said, it's hard to do this review without sounding a little hypocritical at times, so I do apologize about that. It's just, like I said, I have passionate feelings about this franchise. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my childhood favorites. And, you know, Hot Toys, I think that they took the lazy route with it, which is unfortunate. But as I said, I do think it's a great figure overall. Might be a little hard to have it as a standalone. I do think it's better paired with Marty because it is, like I said, Back to the Future 1. And, you know, at the point of filming this video, the Delorean should be inbound anytime now. So these two next to the Delorean definitely will look fantastic. As I said, you know, I don't think that in review that the plutonium chamber out of cardboard was that big of a deal. The head sculpt has its flaws, but as I said, it doesn't make up for it with the accessories. I think it's a great figure overall. It's like I said, it's a you know, Back to the Future 1 Doc Brown. There isn't a competitor on the market that you can say you're going to go to. So this is going to be the figure. So as I said, all dressed up, it does look fantastic. I'll do another pan out with him and Marty so you guys can see. But these two do look great together. And then with Einstein, it's just, you know, it's a great pair. But this is Mr. Mom Collectibles. As I said, there's another Hot Toys review of the Hot Toys Doc Brown, Mr. Mom Collectibles. Please let me know in the comments below if you're picking this up or what are your thoughts on the figure. And don't forget to check out my Instagram page, Mr. Mom Collectibles. And like I said, be able to like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support as always. You know, the channel is growing. I'm doing my best to pump out content, original content, and give my thoughts and my opinions. And I really, truly appreciate everyone who's following along and subscribing on my YouTube and Instagram. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'll have more reviews coming up. I got about 3 or 4 more figures that are inbound at the time of making this video, so there'll definitely be a lot more figure reviews coming in the next couple weeks. And Collection Room 2.0 will be making its rounds. I'm almost finishing up my racks as we speak, so another collection tour video will be in the book. So like I said, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. And this is Ryan, Mr. Mom Collectibles. Have a great day, everybody.